is it a resting bitch face? Like,
No,
do I
it's
have
just
a
a
resting bitch
resting
face?
angry man face.
Really?
You
Oh
do, like
no.
the eyebrows, and then does it too. Like when you furrow your brows and you just look like you're upset. And I'm just like, is everything okay? And you're just like, yes, this is just my face. What do people who watched our past the end session not understand about our relationship?
I think a lot of times when people see us, whether it's our friends um, or probably even family, they may feel like our relationship is perfect. We describe it that way a lot, that we're perfect for
We're
each
well
other.
matched.
We're a great fit.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't come without its challenges.
Yeah.
You know, it's always, any relationship is going to have its challenges.
You know, when you look at our relationship, describing it as perfect, it's perfect for us. You know what I mean? Like we have a very easy way with each other. We don't fuss and hurt each other's feelings. Like we respect each other. And even when we're upset with each other, we maintain that. And so, you know, for me, it's like whatever challenges we have, as long as we can talk about them with maturity and we can still honor each other no matter what is going on and try to understand each other in a sensible, responsible, mature way. I don't know what else I could ask for. Because that's usually the biggest problem. It's
Right.
just like being heard
Hmm.
and listened to. And listening to your partner is probably like the biggest challenge, right? But we have that. So it's like, well, good. We have like the great foundation. Now we just see what other things we need to do, how
And
we can.
it's all learning. You
It
know,
is.
I mean, I think we've learned a lot from our past relationships and
Heck
have
yeah.
brought it to this relationship
Yep.
to make it better. The, you know, the quality time, the time that
Mm-hmm.
we get together, the
Yes.
time that we make sure that we get, that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about it last time. That was one of the things that, you know, I think where we felt most close to each other
Yeah.
was when we went out and when we were able to just sit and talk.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's talking about the house, stuff at the house or
Yeah.
school or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's just nice to have that time. And I think that's something that we learned from our previous
Yes.
relationships that we need to bring into this one
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that it keeps
Yeah.
growing and it stays strong.
Yeah. Agreed.
How do we define intimacy differently in our relationship, and how does it affect us?
Okay. Yeah, I think we touched on this a little bit. Um, I do have a rather a broader sense, like we both do enjoy just spending time with each other. But I think we differ in that I think that's probably, it seems to me that that is the greatest part for you is like us just being together that like fills you up a whole lot. Just the spending time, even the proximity of our closeness, like on the sofa or when we're sitting out to eat, things like that. And I feel that way too, but I also feel strongly about like being held and, you know, cuddling. I don't know, maybe this is all just a very typical thing, you know, that I'm talking about. But yeah, I think that is that would be a big difference for us where I do feel I guess more loved and closer to you, more intimate with you when we spend time close to each other physically. You know, not even just sexually, but just physically, with physically touching each other. And I think I always ask you, like, does it hurt? It's because, like, I've read things with people who are that way where they just don't need it as much. And sometimes for those people, it's like harder for them. literally. So I'm just always trying to discern, is that because it's really hard for you? And you're just like, no, I just don't remember to do it. I don't think of
Yeah,
it.
it's
And I was just
just,
like, okay, I just want to make sure that it's not like this is very challenging for you, because then I want to make sure that I'm not crossing any boundaries or that we can solely push boundaries back or whatever. Um, but yeah, that's the difference. I don't think you need that to feel close to me. And I feel like I need that to feel close to you.
and we've had this conversation a few times
To
before.
death. To death we've had this conversation. We've like buried it and we dug it up out of the ground and then we buried it and resurrected it. We need the holy water or something on this situation.
I've put reminders in my phone,
I told
yeah.
I was like, babe,
I mean,
just put like it set an alarm. Hug my
hug.
wife and then
That's
it'll ring. Kiss wife on cheek. Rub wife's back in a circular motion.
Yes, it's all in there.
It's all in there. It's okay. We all do what we've got to do to try to remember. When do you think I need you most, and how do you know?
Um, I think it's easy to tell. I don't always pick up on it.
Mm,
Um, but it's a lot of times when you're watching one of the kids go through something that is tough for them, and it's obviously tough for you to watch. And I think that's when you just need a hug or whatever. And again, it's one of those things that I'm trying to make that effort to see more clearly those times.
yes.
But it's it's I guess it's just hard because it's not something that I've ever done in the past. It just for some weird reason, I don't know. But I think those are the times. When you're watching one of the kids go through something that they're having a tough time with, and they may say it's fine, I've got it, and all that, but you can tell, you're their mom. You can tell, and that's when I can see that you need me, and it's not for anything but support and a hug, or
Just remind me that it'll be all right. That they will find their sea legs.
they will persevere.
Yep.
Yeah, they're tough.
They are.
They are.
They're strong people.
They are. What does my love feel like?
Like it's very secure fortress feeling, like in a castle where you pull the moat up and you're secure. It's safe. It's reliable, you don't waver much. You know what I mean? Like you don't have like great emotional ups and downs. So like it really is safe. Like it's safe for me to express myself. It's secure. It's very solid. That would be my best description of it. It's very reliable. I can wake up tomorrow morning, so long as you're living, I know that we're okay. I know that I can step on this foundation and it's not going to crack. You don't fall apart easy. You're very capable. I can rely on you. And I know it. You show up and you do things well, you know.
Do you want to ask some of these questions to your significant other? Check out the And Couples edition at theskindeep.com/shop.